Let me go ahead and save this. Let's do just a little bit with drawings, okay, just to take a look at those properties again. Okay, so I'll save this. I'll go ahead and make a drawing from this part. Okay, and I'm just going to bring in just an isometric here. And to make it easy to see, I'll go ahead and shade it. There we go. All right, now let's do a bomb off this. Okay, so when we do, this is a part file. If we do just a go to annotation at the end here, go to tables. If we just did a normal bill of materials, let's see what would happen. So I click that, click here's my bill of material. Okay, and if I go here to this part level, parts only here, and I click OK, okay, this is the top level property here. Let's look at that. All right, so if I go to the property here, I'll go to description here. This is going to be my initials table. Let me go ahead and save it here, and we'll look at our bit here. So that's that top level. Now this is a weldment. We got all sorts of extra pieces in here. All right, now what we can do instead of doing a bill of material like this, now there is a way to do this indented. Okay, with this indented method, we do see all these other bits come up here. The reason you would use a normal bill of material with indented is if you had a sub-assembly within a main assembly where you wanted to call out each of these items individually. It's the only way we can do that. Okay, is do an indented. If you choose to do that, many times what I see is in a main bill of material that weldment structure is located out as a single part number on another drawing on another page or something like that, and there's a separate BOM for that. Okay, let's see here. So what I want to do now, let me, let's see here. Hang on. Sorry, I got to do one thing here on the side. I have an, interesting. Nadia, I'm having a trouble where I can't get you to be a panelist again. I'm not sure why that's doing that. Okay, in the meantime there, just send your messages if you have a question to all panelists, or all, and that'll come in there with that. Again, I'm not quite sure why that's not letting me do that. Sorry about that, Nadia. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Now you're set. Okay, sorry about that. So let's get back to the BOM. So that is, again, using a normal table, again, BOM there. All right, with just a general bill of material. And again, the reason you would use this in a normal bill is if you had a sub that you wanted to break out in a listing of everything. Okay, now what we have instead here is a weldment cut list. And this weldment cut list, okay, with this, is going to allow me here, I'll pick here and say OK. This one's a little bit different. It acts a little bit different than a regular bill of material. This is, again, this would be, again, any kind of multi-body bill of material. One thing I really want you to notice here, notice that, remember, this was in inches, I believe. Let me double check that. Yep, it's in inch pound second here. But when I go to my bill of material here, I'm noticing that this is in millimeters. Okay? So in this particular case, this is something to really watch out for when you are doing the weldments, is making sure that you have the units, because sometimes, and this isn't just weldments, sometimes these numbers, the units, are being pulled from whatever units your drawing is in. Sometimes the units are getting pulled from the part file. And because these are, again, in this case, different units, sometimes we might get something we don't want to see. If I'm assuming these are English units, holy cow, 737.3 inches. Now, if I change it to inch, Notice my length updates there. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to have the same units in both. Just be aware of something like that happening. Now, we can take here, because this length is pulling those units, we could say, well, let's take here under units. And maybe I want to, again, here we're getting inch, pound, second. Can we do custom? Yep. Can we do fractions down to, say, 64th of an inch tape measure? Okay, and tell it to round to the nearest fraction here. And okay. All right, so now we get our sizes and, again, our inches here. So that can all be customized here depending on what you want. Now, normally here, and actually, let me do one. I'm going to do both types of bill of material here. Now, I'm going to take here, I'm just going to do this to parts only just so it isn't quite as confusing here. Now, normally in a regular bill of material, you're clicking on the top here, okay, right-clicking, and you're doing a format. You're clicking on a column here. You're going over to this column property button if you want to change it, okay, to something else. In a weldment cut list, when you do this, notice everything, again, a majority of what you're doing over here, there's no button for properties in this call-up. It's all over here in the property manager. So they're slightly different. That's another thing to be aware of, just to not get confused with, is, again, when you're doing a weldment or multi-body part, do that weldment cut list. And, again, over here, okay, we've got, our sizes. Okay, so our description here. Now, the one that's not being called out here, that's this plate, okay, our gusset in here. So we do the same thing potentially in here, call out a description on that size. If I wanted to make it parametric, I'd throw those reference dimensions on there. That way it'd have a complete bill of material. It's way easier to get your part set up ahead of time and then come over to a bill of material than kind of have a bunch of stuff missing out of it. Now, a real slick way is, again, you might have a... let me see here. Nope, never mind. Getting some of my regular bomb type here. Notice here with a regular bomb, I've got this cool thing that I can flip out to the side here. The weldment cut lace still a little bit rudimentary, kind of behind a bit in how nice it is with a normal bomb. Okay, but in the end of the day there, whenever we figure out what we want for quantity, however maybe we want links before descriptions, however we want it set, as with any other bill of material, you can right-click that pan symbol in the upper right-hand corner and do a Save As. And then save that template. That way your coworkers can also pick that up. Okay. All right, so that pretty much covers the basics. Honestly, you've got a weldments class is usually online, 3 to 4 hours, depending on it, and you got a really good condensed, little bit over an hour with this. Although I was talking a little fast in some areas, a really good grasp here. Of the same material that we would teach normally in the weldments class. We just slow down a little bit, talk about these things a little bit more slowly as we work our way through here. Okay, so were there any other questions? I noticed one, there was the simulation question. Nadi would probably be more capable in the simulation department to answer that in regards to simulation than I am at the moment. Other than simulation questions, did anyone else have any other questions that you'd like to throw in that chat window that you wanted to see? Maybe coming through, or talking to Nadie. Okay, Nadie, you got any open questions? Maybe typing. All right. Yes, the last item there. Let me go ahead and write that up. and throw a description in here. Description, and we'll call this the super gusset. Save that, and tab it over here, and there we go. So number 6 there. Now, again, depending on if you've done drawings that much, you can always do, again, an auto balloon. Here's the problem I have with auto balloon is whenever you do anything automated, okay, with something, it tends to here to take here and throw in a, so for instance, a balloon here. Oh, right there, number 1. Now, why did it snuck up on me? Why did it do just the number 1 here? Because I have a stock bomb here with this, and what I need to do, if I delete that, okay, now let me go ahead and do that again. There we go. There are all our bill of material numbers. Notice that the lines go over the top. Who does that? That's something, unfortunately, the reason why I usually would auto balloon something is if I had a ton of things. So I have, the drawings I used to do would have 200-300 balloons in it. And it was that way I didn't forget balloon 175 and balloon 232. Okay, that kind of thing, where I just balloon everything, and then you can still, after the fact, move things. Okay, with that. Now, you can control, if we go to the properties of this particular file, of the view here, and we take a look, okay, notice here we can link balloons to a specified table. So remember, I know I told you it defaulted to that that standard bill of material. If for some reason you have more than one bill of material in there, you can tell it link to it. And in this case, there's just 1 now. But if there were 2, you could tell it which specific one to link to. And again, to auto balloon here under the annotation tab, okay, you've got your auto balloon. In my case, right above my auto office products tab. Right here, auto balloon. You just pick on the particular view that you want to balloon and click OK when you do that. Now, here's the other thing. Stock numbering is just an item number to match. This is something that always got me. In my case, when I did bill of materials, the top half would be the item number. The bottom half would be what page that item was actually detailed on. So before in my template file, and again, this could be a quantity in here. What we could do with this, let me go ahead and get rid of these. In your drawing template file, you can go to those options, to your document property, and we're looking for balloons. And we can say, well, I really want this to be a circular split line. And what I'd really like here, and let's see here, there it is. Upper is item number, lower is quantity. We'll just keep it at quantity for now. You can put in here all sorts of things. Specific property that you've assigned to it. Quantity, you can change it to text, so you can type in whatever you want. Like in my case, it was whatever page it was detailed on. I'll go to quantity and set that up ahead of time. And if you're doing this a lot, I'd highly recommend get that drawing template set up. And we're going to come in here, and again, when I do auto balloon, it's going to be set by default here, circular split line. And I'll have everything set up here. Okay, with this. Now, notice here, and this little thing, let me get this out of the way. These little lines right here, this was something that was, again, added a couple versions ago. This is called a magnet line. This one's really cool here because we can take and move these around and then have these take here and again equal spacing, so I can move these around. This is something I know it was in 12. I think it came out in 11. This is borrowed from the SolidWorks Composer product, this magnet line for bill of materials. Makes it really nice, again, to grab that all as a whole, especially if we have something at an angle versus, say, just flat or just vertical. Okay, and we can space those out there. Okay, so pretty cool. All right, good questions there. Anyone got anything else?